All right, good morning. This is the Committee on Parole. We're in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The time is 8:52 in the morning and the date is August the 5th, 2025. We're going from Baton Rouge. We'll be zooming, or in other words, speaking to Richard Creel at St. Tammany Parish. Is that correct? Are you Mr. Creel?
Yes, sir.
It's at St. Tammany, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, we'll be back to you in just a minute. Would the staff here in Baton Rouge introduce yourself, please?
Sure. Carla Williams.
Okay, thank you, staff. And what about St. Tammany Parish? Is there any staff from St. Tammany that's in the room?
Yes, sir. Corporal Jonathan Lott.
And Corporal
Okay.
Christopher Ellis.
Okay, Corporal, thank you very much. Okay, now to you, Mr. Creel. We're here for a revocation hearing. And what is your DOC number?
750681.
Okay, and do you have a piece of paper in front of you that says waiver on it? The waiver that you signed?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, and you understood all that and put your name on it? It's
Yes,
the
sir.
same what we have, okay? Well, good. All right, well, I see where your father wants to speak to you on your behalf also. But we've got the reason that you're here on revocation is you violated or suspected of violating a particular rule that you agreed to abide by when you went to when you got released from prison. And then you ended up, I believe this is the one, is it not Miss Ledoux, the Mississippi case?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to turn it over to Miss Ledoux. Jerry, I don't know if I introduced y'all or not, but my name is Steve Prater. You can see from our name tag, Jerry Ledoux is on my right and Carolyn Stapleton is on my left. And we're the ones who'll be conducting the hearings today. And your particular case has been assigned to Miss Ledoux. So I'll let you take it away from there.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Creel.
morning.
I believe you appeared before this panel April the 29th of this year.
Yes.
And at that time, the panel, including Ms. Stapleton, was on the panel, made the recommendation and chose to not revoke you, but to allow you to go to an interstate compact to your father in Mississippi. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay. When Mississippi went out to try to establish that residence plan, they were unable to reach your father. They made 3 attempts, and so your interstate compact was denied. And so that's where we find ourselves today. And I understand your father would like to speak, and it would be appropriate for him to do it so at this time.
Yes, ma'am.
Is he on Zoom?
Okay. So apparently he's not connected. Okay. You have been detained since March of 25. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Also, your revocation was based on the fact that you had possession of Schedule 1. You did indeed plead guilty to marijuana, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you also had an absconding where you were in Mississippi without permission.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When you were here, where did you live, and do you have a stable residence plan in Louisiana?
Yes, ma'am, I do. At my grandmother's house. But I was gonna ask today, could I get released to my grandmother's house, and when I get out, could I get an interstate compact to move to my dad's to where I could do it myself when I get out? Because my dad works a lot in Florida, but he lives in Mississippi, and my mom works a lot too, and it's been kind of trouble getting in touch with them. And I feel like if I was out, I could make the interstate compact and complete it as of being in Louisiana and then moving to Mississippi.
So what kind of employment did you have prior to this, these charges and you being picked up?
My dad got me a job in Mississippi. I was working at a Job Corps center, doing demolition and pickup, pretty much construction work.
Have you
Now-
graduated from high school?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I kind of have a different idea in mind than immediate release. But something that I think would still benefit you. I'm concerned about your stability where you are and getting settled. And I'd like to give you some time while you're in there. Do my colleagues have any questions? Mr. Creel, I believe that if I send you to a transitional work program, you'll have an opportunity to earn a little bit of money. I would like to put on there that that you also work on your GED, but your father has now joined us, so let's hear what he has to say. Sir, if you'll go ahead and make your statement. This is Mr. Richard Creel Sr., right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what do you have to say?
When he was out, he was holding a steady job. He was working good. I mean, he was doing the things he was supposed to do. He didn't have a steady, residence at the time, and I was always gone and mom was at work. But I'm home now, and I mean he's able to have a steady work environment and a place to stay, a steady address, with no issues now.
Okay, so he wouldn't do it. Thank you. That's helpful. So maybe his problem's not the stability of housing, but the substance abuse issue.
Yeah, that's another thing too, we can, it's kind of rural where we at, there's really nothing here but him and work, and, it gets him away from home, but, I'm trying to blame it on, different individuals, but you are who you hang around, and, that removes him from that situation.
Okay. Thank you for your input, Mr. Creel. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
So you have a substance abuse problem?
When I was out, I was smoking marijuana, and I tried to get my pharmacy license in Willow's Pharmacy in Covington, but I was moving back and forth to Mississippi working, and I missed the pharmacist appointment, and I didn't get a chance to get it. I have anxiety problems, but
What? To get what? Medical marijuana, or what were you
yes,
trying?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. There are other pharmacological ways to deal with anxiety. Yeah. Have you ever been on any other kind of anxiety medication?
When I was younger, I was on anxiety medication, but I don't, not when I got a little bit older, no, ma'am.
Okay. I'd like to go ahead and then make a recommendation that we send you to a short-term substance abuse program so that you can learn to distinguish between how to deal with the substance abuse issues. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So my vote today is in lieu of revocation, send to a short-term substance abuse program.
Okay. Okay.
I concur.
Okay. And I concur also, and so we're not gonna revoke you today. But you are gonna have to go to we're gonna recommend that you go to a short term. Is that what you're? Okay. All right. And so that's the decision of the board today, is that you go to a short-term substance abuse program, and that you really need to do some soul searching from the sound of you. Get away from street drugs. All right. That's
Yes,
what you
sir.
need. All right. That'll conclude this hearing. The time is,
And the program that I'm going to is, you said that I was gonna be able to go to work while I'm at the program.
No, you go to work on this one.
so you'll be released after you go through the substance abuse program. Have you ever been through a substance abuse program?
And when I was incarcerated the last time, I went through here I went through LA risk, living in balance phase 1 and 2, but it had substance abuse, chapters in it, but not a full class.
You'll get some good education in the short-term treatment program and maybe learn to deal with anxiety in a different way. Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
That'll conclude this hearing, 9:02. And we wish you well. And as soon as you're through with the substance abuse training or, short term, it won't be long, then you'll be released and you'll figure out whether you're gonna get to Mississippi or not. That'll be up to you. Like you say, you wanted to do, work on that pact yourself. Otherwise, you'll be staying here with your grandmother and working. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, that will conclude this hearing. The time is 9:03.
Swap them out.
Just drop it back in that.
All right, this is the Committee on Parole. You can see from our name tags who we are. We've already introduced ourselves for the formal part of the day. We're at St. Tammany Parish. St. Tammany, I assume that you same corporals in the room with us?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Mr. Damen Judy, is that your name? Damen Judy, am I saying that right?
Yes, sir.
What is your DOC number?
520645.
Okay, do you have a waiver in front of you that you signed?
Yes.
Okay, a revocation waiver? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Your case this morning has been assigned to Miss Jerry Ledoux on my right. And she's gonna be taking the case and handling the entire thing. So Miss Ledoux, take it away.
Good morning, Mr. Judy.
Good morning.
I'm going to be, do you have a retained counsel? Did you have an attorney at your preliminary hearing?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
And did you want that attorney to be here with you today or on the,
I would have liked for him to be here. Yes, ma'am.
did you request him to be here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so he didn't show up.
Okay, he should have had the link to get on here. I don't know if maybe something happened on his end or what have you not, but he was well aware of today's meeting, hearing.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and proceed because it's not really our responsibility to make sure he's here. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so there are 3 allegations, violations against you. I'm going to read it and I need you to enter a plea of guilty, guilty with a statement, not guilty, or not guilty with a statement.
Yes,
Rule number 3, you failed to obtain written permission from your parole officer before leaving the state of Louisiana as evidenced by your arrest on 2/5/2025 by the Biloxi Police Department. How do you plead?
guilty.
Number 4, you failed to refrain from engaging in criminal activity as evidenced by that same arrest, 2/5/2025. How do you plead? They charge you with possession with the intent to distribute methamphetamine.
Yes, ma'am. That's an open charge. It's still up for debate. That's just being what I'm charged with, not convicted of. I plead not guilty to that, ma'am.
You failed to stay up, this is Rule 10, failed to stay up with your supervision fees, and you currently owe $315.
Yes, ma'am. That was my time of incarceration. Up until then, I was paid all the way until the day of incarceration. I can clear that up as of right now. You know, that's no problem.
Okay. And condition number 13, you're actually a parole case, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you were ordered by the parole board to attend AANA meetings.
Correct.
How many times a week?
Twice a week.
And where were you going?
To the Celebrating Recovery on Gerard Street out here in Mandeville.
Did you provide your parole agent with proof that you had been attending?
Yes, ma'am. I did all the way until I was in a bad accident, and my book bag that had all of my belongings, my close belongings with me, we was involved in a 168 car pileup and Manchac Bridge, and everything caught a fire. The whole entire vehicle did, and my bag was in there, ma'am. It was in a work truck.
So you had provided proof prior to that, though?
Yes, ma'am. And I do have some after the wreck. I was still obtaining and going to the meetings, and I do have some of those in my current vehicle as well. Yes, ma'am.
So you're pleading not guilty to that violation?
Yes, ma'am.
Guilty, guilty, not guilty, not guilty. Okay. We have a parole supervisor attending this hearing via Zoom, and Ms. Gina Weems, and she's over the Covington district, and we would welcome you to speak at this time. Ms. Weems.
Good morning, Parole Board. I'm standing in for Agent Jared Holcomb, who's on military leave right now. Regarding these violations, he changed a couple of pleas from when we held a hearing. It appears that when we held the hearing, he pled not guilty to number 3. But our stance is that basically he left the state without permission and he got arrested. Therefore, we are seeking revocation. As far as the AA meetings, we have not received any of them.
Right. So there's nothing in his record that shows that he provided proof of attending those meetings.
No, ma'am, there's not.
Thank you very much. Well, do my colleagues have any questions?
No question from me.
Well, Mr. Judy, you violated your condition, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you're a third felony offender, so it's not like any of this should be surprising, right? You know how it works. Today, my vote is to revoke your parole based on being guilty of condition number 3 and 4.
Okay, Ms. Stapleton?
I concur with Ms. Ledoux that, to revoke conditions 3 and 4 have been violated.
And I concur likewise. So as of today at 9:17 in the morning, your parole has been revoked because of violation rule number 3 and 4. That's the end of this hearing. It's 9:17. Thank you. All right, this is the Committee on Parole. The time is 9:23 in the morning. The date is still the same, August 5th, 2025. We're here to discuss the parole request of Mr. Ronald Smith. Ms. Carolyn Stapleton has the case. We're going to take care of some preliminaries to begin with. Mr. Smith, what's your DLC number?
434598.
Okay. And who's the staff that is in the room with you from Raymond Laborde? Would the staff introduce yourself, please?
Brent Thompson, Warden.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Stephen Bordelon, Deputy Warden Operations.
Okay, we appreciate that. The way we'll get started, Mr. Smith, is we're gonna give you a chance to tell us about the crime, about what you've learned from having committed this crime, what you've done in prison, why you think you're worthy of a parole. And then we're gonna ask the warden or the assistant warden one to give us some comments about the kind of fellow you've been. Then we'll see what Mr. Kerry Myers with Parole Project has to say about it. And then we'll turn it over to Ms. Stapleton to ask any questions, and then we'll follow up. So let's go ahead and begin with Mr. Smith. Tell us about yourself and the crime.
On the night of May 12th, 1999, I went to Tommy Jefferson's home. I knocked on the door. He answered. He allowed me entry. After answering, I pulled a gun. I tried to rob Tommy. There was a stroke. I shot Tommy 4 times in the head. After doing that, I went into one of the back rooms to make it appear as if Tommy had been robbed by trash in the room. I came back out front. I opened the front door and I kicked my way through the burglar bar doors and I ran home.
Okay. Tell us why that's the crime. Tell us why you feel like you're worthy of being paroled back on the street again.
So I've accomplished a lot since I've been incarcerated. I've got a lot of self-help programs. I'm a Man One trustee working on a road crew Monday to Thursday, picking up trash in neighboring communities. I'm just a transformed person than compared to what I used to be. My attitude was a bad one at one time in my life, and today is just, I'm just willing to do what I have to do to better myself, sir. And I'm just asking the parole board to consider all that I've accomplished since I've been incarcerated. I have a family that loves me. I'm just basically trying to do the right thing, and regardless of the outcome of this parole hearing, I will continue to do the right thing, sir.
Okay, Mr. Smith. Well, I appreciate that and your words. Warden, or assistant warden, what kind of fellow has he been?
Yes, sir. He's been doing pretty well as far as his disciplinary is concerned. He hadn't had a write-up in 5 years. His last write-up was in 20. So he's been doing good in that area. He's currently doing pretty good as far as the job is concerned as well. He's working on a road crew that's been working on for 2.5 years. So he's doing well in that area as well. And like you said as well, he actually he's completed a lot of classes. He's applied himself well in that particular area. My one and only concern, which I mentioned to him just on yesterday as well when I interviewed him, he did have at one time a substance abuse concern. So that would be my recommendation, maybe a Stevie Hall program, something like that, to continue trying to help him out.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Okay, Ms. Stapleton. Well, excuse me. Let's go to Kerry Myers first. Mr. Myers, tell us what y'all be willing to do to help.
Good morning. Kerry Myers with Louisiana Parole Project. And we're here today essentially to let the board know that we're prepared to provide reentry support on a longer-term basis if needed. We certainly aware that he has done 26 years on 35. That's about 75% of his sentence. While he does have a good time date in 2029, the board would have the option, just going back to what the warden said, to impose any particular conditions prior to his release or upon his release. We do feel that based on the programming, the overall record, that the board should grant parole today. considering the time served, but also if the board feels that he needs a long-term substance abuse program, we're also certainly would agree to that based on the warden's recommendation. Our programming, as the board knows, will provide transitional housing, will provide programming and technology and social norms, financial management. You'll have a mentor on a full-time basis. I believe that Mrs. Smith is ready to come home. And if this board would see fit, to grant him his parole today.
Okay, fine.
Mr. Myers, have you personally or anyone on your staff personally spoken with Mr. Smith?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you found his attitude for compliance to be in line with what you're looking for?
Yes, ma'am. In the last 5 years, particularly just based on his record, but in the interview itself, no, he showed in the interview, showed his maturity as far as we're concerned, that he'd be in compliance.
I was just concerned about the disciplinary. I know, of course, he went in at 21, very difficult, and has leveled out, but I just was wanting to hear from you if he's spoken. Okay, thank you.
Ms. Stapleton?
Yes, sir. I wanted to ask you, and I know Ms. Ledoux was alluding to this earlier. You had 41 disciplinary write-ups and you lost 414 days of good time that was never restored. Can you explain that?
I've tried to get it restored, but they told me that I had to do a 2-year period without a write-up. And I did that, and I just kept writing it in. They never responded, man. They never responded. I've been doing what I've been doing what I have to do to try to get my good time back.
Okay, so actually you're, so we're talking a 5-year change in your disciplinary attitude. Prior to that, there were problems?
Yes, ma'am, that were.
That's not really that long, not really. So, okay, let's go back to the crime itself. This man, and you said you were knocking on his door. Neighbor says you were kicking on his door. Did you know this man?
Yes, ma'am, I did. In the neighborhood.
So you said you wanted to rob him. You knew that he had money or something?
No, ma'am, I was on drugs.
Okay, well, people on drugs don't just walk up to a house and say, I think I'm going to get money from this person unless they think they've got some money.
I'm not using it as a, ma'am. I'm just saying that I needed money and I just robbed him. I tried to rob him and it just didn't go as I planned for it to go. Things went south. And I'm taking full responsibility for my actions. I had no right to do what I did. And I'm sorry for doing what I did.
All right. It was you by yourself? There wasn't two people there? It was you alone?
It was me by myself.
Okay. The man opened the door, you said.
Yes,
You had
ma'am.
a gun. And you shot him point blank in the head 3 or 4 times.
Yes, ma'am.
Was it 4 times or 3 times?
I think it was 4.
4, that's what I thought I heard you say. And then you proceeded to, I guess, what, empty out his pocket for money and look around the house for more
Just
money?
went to one of the back rooms and trashed it real good to make it appear that it had been robbed. And I came back out front, opened the front door, and I kicked my way through the burglar bar doors and then ran home.
All right. So how did you get caught?
A couple of months later, I came to jail on an armed robbery charge. And I guess they ran my fingerprints and they matched them to the murder that I had committed.
I was going to ask you about that. You did have an armed robbery charge, and you already had a pretty extensive criminal history. In '98, you had charges, then you had the armed robbery charge, and then you had the murder charge.
Yes, ma'am.
And all of this you said was because of drugs?
It It was because mainly me making bad decisions, man. I'm not blaming anything on drugs. I made a lot of bad decisions.
You were 21 years old when you were arrested for this murder?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's get back. You have victim opposition, as you can understand. You have law enforcement opposition from the DA, the sheriff's office, and the police department. I do see the different classes that you've taken. We did speak about the substance abuse situation, and that would be a good thing. I see living in balance and cage your rage. What was your favorite class to take?
Probably victim impact.
Victim impact?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know anything about your victim? You said you knew him.
Yes, ma'am. I knew him from the neighborhood, just passing and seeing him, speaking to him now and then.
Did he have children, a wife, things like that?
I don't think so. I'm not sure though.
As far as you knew, he was just by himself.
Yes, ma'am.
Those are my questions.
Okay.
Mr. Smith, where are your family members today? You indicated you had did they know you were having this hearing?
Yes, ma'am. My sister Shannon earlier did know. I gave her the information. I don't know why she's not here, but I expected her to be here. Yes, ma'am.
So what were your plans if you had not gone to the parole project? Where would you go if you were paroled? What plans did you have?
My plan was to go probably to my cousins, and I was just hoping that he would allow me to use his address. And I would just try to find me a job, hopefully, just try to do the right thing.
You have questions? No. Okay. I have no questions, and I think we're prepared to vote. Ms. Stapleton?
Mr. Smith, your plea bargain of 35 years for a man's life was pled down to manslaughter, and it was premeditated. So you got 35 years, you got a deal, and you're going to be getting out in just a couple of years. So I do not approve your parole today. I deny it.
Okay. Mr. Dew?
Mr. Smith, you have to have a unanimous vote, but I was leaning towards granting because you need to have some time to figure out a long-term game plan. And you don't have much time left, and go into the parole project to stabilize your reentry and give you good transition skills. You were 21. You have corrected your misbehavior within the institution. I am in no way negating the seriousness of the crime. It was horrible. But my vote would have been to, after completion of a long-term substance abuse program, to grant to the parole project.
Okay, thank you. Yes, so you need a unanimous vote from this board. So as of today, your parole has been denied, but we are going to we're also going to recommend, as my vote would be, that you be denied, but that you be recommended to a long-term substance abuse program, so that when you come back before us again, you will have had that under your belt, and it might sound a lot more advantageous for your ability to get out. So as of today, your parole has been revoked with the recommendation of long-term substance abuse. I mean, excuse me, not parole, your parole has been denied. All right, that'll be the end of the hearing at 9:38.
Yeah, we got it up. I'm kinda. It should be good to go. We should be on now, right?
Let's see. Ronald Smith. Who is that? No, they ain't. Oh, they ain't quite ready. Who is Ronald Smith? Oh, they ain't quite ready.
Oh, okay.
No, they just did Ronald Smith. David Lunn. Yeah, they is ready. They just did. They just, man, they changed the schedule around. They ready.
It should pop up, right?
Oh.
Got their controller.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right, the mic is on. Is it blanket over there?
Yeah, it's muted.
Yeah,
I'm not muted.
is it green or red?
Oh.
Oh, I'm looking. Hold on. Let's see something up right. There's nothing. Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
They'll kick us to the end if we don't have it ready. Oh, no, here they are.
Okay, good morning. We're speaking from Baton Rouge, the Committee on Parole. You can see from our name tags who we are. we're the ones that'll be determining whether Mr. Lunn gets paroled or not this morning. Warden, we appreciate you hosting. Would you introduce the folks that are in the facility there at Dixon?
Yes, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. The lights aren't on. We've been like, oh no, you can't hear us because there's no lights on this little thing. There must be lights out. All right. Good morning, sir. How are you? Dusty Bickham Warden.
Donald Cavalier classification.
Alvin King reentry.
Ashley Bradley, records.
Jamie DeBall, mental health. And that's it.
Okay, Warden, well, thank you very much for hosting us. Mr. Lunn, what is your DOC number?
131501.
Okay, I'll be handling the interview, and then my colleagues here will ask questions to see if there's anything else that we've not covered. Tell us why you're there, and tell us why you think you ought to be released on parole. And tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we're gonna ask the warden to tell us about you. So you start off and tell us what you did and why you need to get out.
Aggravated burglary charge. Disobeying with a juvenile. Again, like 40 years. I took a lot of classes. Self-help classes. Substance abuse, HOAs, anger management, re-release, victim impact, and sex offender treatment. Phase 4 program, 1 through 4.
Okay. All right, that wraps it up? You've been through this before, you know what we wanted to hear, and that ain't exactly it. Tell us about what you learned in any of the classes. In other words, try to convince us that you're worthy of a parole.
Yeah. Substance abuse is using anything that's abusive, like alcohol, cigarettes, all that stuff. Character counts changes your character, makes you a better person. Give more respect to people. Anger management, control your anger in any situation. Victim impact. There's a class that was sponsored by DOC. They put you in the place of the victim percentage. And it makes you feel remorseful because you feel the pain that I caused.
Do you feel that pain now?
I still do so.
Okay. All right. Warden, what kind of fellow has he been since he's been there?
Good morning. He's been good. He stays out of trouble. His last write-up was in 2010. I only think he has about 3 write-ups since he's been here. And he works in our kitchen. He's been in our kitchen for years, just kind of helping out in there. So he stays out of trouble, doesn't cause us any issues.
Okay, we appreciate that. And Mr. Lunn, there's no one here to speak in your favor, but we do have some folks that are here and on Zoom that do wish to speak. There was one, let's see, Richard Strauss and Michelle Strauss are here, and Michelle's going to speak to us, and Brittany Jones is on Zoom, and she's going to speak to us. So let's start off with Brittany. Are you on Zoom? Okay, Brittany, I see you connected. Would you tell us what you think about David Lunn's request for parole?
Yes, sir, I'm here. I think that he should not be granted his request for parole. I think that, I know for a fact I've not received any apologies from him. I haven't, seen any remorse from him for the things that he did to me. Not, and I don't think that he's apologized for any of the things that he's done to anyone else. I don't think that he feels sympathy for what he's done, or empathy, or regret, or remorse. And I think that he's definitely capable of doing it again, just from what he said and how he seems like he hasn't learned anything.
Okay. Right? Is that what you got to say, Miss Jones? Didn't want to cut you off.
Oh, no, you're fine. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Okay, well, thank you for taking time to Zoom, and we appreciate that. Next, we'll move on to, let's see, Michelle Strauss. Would you talk to us, please, and just approach the podium and take your time and.
My name is Michelle Strauss. David Lunn is my biological uncle. And, I also feel that, he's gone through the motions. He's taken his classes. He's checked all his boxes. But I do not feel that I think he's just gone through the motions. I do not feel that he feels remorseful. I do feel that David is a threat. My whole childhood was scattered with abuse from David until I left Louisiana at 13, moved to Texas. And then when I left, he moved on to other children. And that's where these other children came into the picture. So I just feel he's habitual, and I just don't think that I honestly don't think that I just think he went through the motions to get it on paper. I honestly do not think that he's been rehabilitated.
Okay.
And that's my honest opinion.
Okay. Thank you very much for taking time to come and be with us. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, that's the folks that are speaking against your parole request. And now it's my turn to ask a few questions. And I don't have a lot of questions. I don't want to go over too much of this. When did you plead guilty? What year?
2003,
2003. And what was your sentence, your total sentence?
41 years.
Okay, and so you've only served 22, looks like 22 years out of a 44-year sentence, right?
41.
41-year sentence, 22 years of a 41 sentence. Okay. You do have opposition from all law enforcement, including the judge. You have opposition from them. All right. I don't have any other questions.
I'm just gonna read what the judge said concerning this case. A response was received, and this was from Judge Ritchie, in opposition to David Keith Lunn's request for a parole release. And he wrote the following comment. I wasn't the sentencing judge, but through my 33 years in the criminal justice system, I believe this person will offend again and is a danger to the public based upon his criminal history and the nature of the convictions. I have seen old people molest children, so his age doesn't matter. Wanted to be sure and read that because that was a very important statement.
Okay. Okay, it's time to vote now. And I'll be the first to vote. Because of victim opposition, law enforcement opposition, you've only served a little over half of your sentence. My vote today is to deny your parole request. Ms. Stapleton?
I concur with Mr. Prater, and I would add that I believe that you're a continued threat to public safety.
Ms. Stapleton?
I concur with my colleagues. I deny that.
Okay, as of 9:54 this morning, your parole has been denied. End of hearing. All right, the time is 10 o'clock exactly, and we're going to continue at the Committee on Parole in Baton Rouge. We're continuing to handle cases this morning, and we're speaking to Mr. Thaddeus Johnson at Dixon Correctional Center. Mr. Johnson, is that you? Are you Thaddeus Johnson?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and the warden and the staff has already introduced themselves there. So, Mr. Johnson, what is your DOC number?
287782, sir.
Okay, well, in a minute, I'm gonna get you to tell us just exactly what you did and why you feel like that you're worthy of being paroled. And then we're gonna ask the warden to tell us what kind of fella you've been since you've been there. And then we're gonna have some folks that speak in your favor and some folks that speak, or a person that speaks against you in opposition. Then we're gonna ask some questions. Ms. Stapleton will handle all that, and then we'll decide. So why don't you go ahead and start us off and tell us, Mr. Johnson, what you're accused of, or what you did, and tell us why you think you're worthy of being paroled early.
I've been told that I've been 2 people. I'm sorry for what happened. I feel real bad about it. I didn't have that to do. I was hooked on drugs. I got my life together. I went to substance abuse. I took AA. I did everything that I can to change. I've changed. I'm sorry for what I've done. I can't take it back. Mr. Wilton George and Miss Sylvia, I apologize for what I did. I was hooked on drugs. I was lost. Got my life together. I found God. I've taken self-help programs. I did everything I can to change my life. I've changed my life. And I just want another chance at life. If I can repay everything that I've done wrong, I'm more than willing to repay everything I've done.
Okay. All right, Mr. Johnson, thank you for that. Warden, what kind of fellows have you been?
That has been with us since 2023 at DCI. Most of the time was up the LSP, but since he's been here, he hadn't had any write-ups. His last write-up was in 2018. He had a significant write-up history up until that point, what I'm looking at, but since 2018, looks like he's been staying out of trouble. And he works in our kitchen, does a good job helping us out in there. So that is, once again, really doesn't cause us any issues.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Warden. Thank you for that. Okay, we have some folks that are here that want to speak on behalf. Well, let's go ahead and get Mr. Kerry Myers with Louisiana Project. Kerry, would you talk to us first? Louisiana Parole Project on Zoom.
Yes, good morning. Kerry Myers with Louisiana Parole Project. To let the board know that we've accepted Mr. Johnson as one of our clients. We've done that based on several factors. His programming, he's taken Thinking for a Change, Anger Management, Living in Balance. His disciplinary record has been clean for the last 6 years. He served 26 years of incarceration, and he's age 59, which in itself is a deterrent to future behavior just based on his age. But that combined with his record, and so we'll provide him with transitional services. After 26 years, obviously, there's significant changes that he would have to recognize upon return, and then we will help him through those changes: technology, financial management, social norms. We'll connect him to all his services. He'll be evaluated by our social workers for any needs and follow any recommendations. We'll ensure that he follows any recommendations of our social workers. We believe Mr. Johnson is no threat to public safety. He has a long-term residence. When he does complete parole project, we'll provide him case management for minimum of 1 year. But obviously we'll be there to support our EEP program, Employment Enhancement Program. We'll assist him with employment when he does return to his long-term address. So we would just ask this board to consider those factors in its decision today.
Okay, well, thank you, sir. We appreciate you and the work that y'all do. Okay, we'll move on to, let's go ahead and clear out the Zoom folks with servant's heart. I think Datress Smith is, if I'm saying that right, Datress. Am I saying that right?
It's Detrice.
Detrice, I should have known I would get it wrong, but we thank you for what you do, and we'll listen carefully as you speak. Just for the note on the record, Mr. James Brown was going to speak, but Ms. Smith has decided to speak in place of that. So Ms. Smith, go ahead and tell us what you got on your mind.
Hello, good morning. My name is Detrice Smith Jones. I'm the Chief Executive Director of Servant's Heart International Outreach. We have a substantial program here in Parole, Louisiana. I know Ms. Jerry Ledoux, I just spoke at a hearing maybe a couple weeks ago when you were in there, so you kind of familiar with our program, but I'm gonna go ahead and try to give a quick synopsis. It's a lot, but you gotta go along with us.
Okay, so, try to limit it because we got 10 other hearings, so okay, just keep it down to a couple minutes for it, please.
Okay, Servant's Heart is a program where we do re-entry in the parish of Jefferson. We are supported by the Department of Corrections Secretary LeBlanc. He's came down and said that we were a model program. We also are supported by our sheriff, our council, which is Councilman Byron Lee, as well as our other council members in the district. We provide hand-on-hand re-entering into society. We also have an addiction clinic where we have 10 master level social workers who work with each client on addiction. We don't take anyone. We look into the client, we see how long they've done and what they've done to get back into the program. He must commit to doing at least 6 months with us, but we can keep him up to 18 months. He lives with us. He has to commit to going to school. He has to pick a trade. We help him to find housing. We help him to find job and program. Like I said, the sheriff of this parish has supported our program as well as the council district. They give us money to provide our clients with on-the-job training. So we're working there with them. They clock in every day with us. They have a curfew for 10 p.m. They have to abide by the rules of our program. It's a lot of rules. We've been with him. He knows the rules. We worked with him for the last 4 years, I think it is. And so we've been working with him along to get him prepared to transition into this life. We have 4 acres here. We have chickens that we do. We do equestrian therapy as well, where we're going to teach them how to have empathy and apathy before we let them re-enter into society. He's allowed to walk along these 4 acres, but he's not allowed to go outside these 4 acres. He has to stay with us for the first 45 days until he meets all the requirements that's required. He has to take weekly drug screens. He has to meet his daily substance abuse groups for the next 3 months. And then we have, like I said, our social workers that work with them daily. We have someone that watches over the household that he'll be in. We have accepted him. He also has to attend church. We have our pastor, Pastor James Nelson Brown, that's on here. We will have someone to pick him up, bring him to work, bring him home, bring him to school, pick a trade. Until we have him to work, he'll take 25% of his pay. We'll take the other 75% of his pay, and we'll continue to save on him until he gets transportation, housing, until we are ready for him, until we feel he's ready to be re-entered into society. So like I said, we are doing a hand-on-hand exchange from you guys to us that we'll go ahead and provide him 18 months of re-entry before we allow him to be alone into society. I think I gave you a lot in 3 minutes.
You gave me a lot and a little. You gave us all a lot and a little bit, but you did it very succinctly, and we appreciate that. And appreciate the work that your organization and yourself does. Thank you very much. We'll take that into consideration. Okay, we'll move on to the folks here at headquarters. We have 2 people, Randy Petty and Shonda Petty. Shonda is the sister of Mr. Thaddius Johnson, and she is going to be speaking. Would you go to the podium, please, ma'am, and give us your thoughts? And
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sure.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Shonda Petty. I'm Thaddius. I'm going to speak on his behalf. He's my brother, my only, my younger. We've been on this journey for some time. It was said earlier that he's been here for 26 years, and my husband and I have been here from the beginning to now, even to 26 years. That is, wow, that is, has changed. He's become new. And the reason he's like, well, how do you know? Because he's taking his courses that at one time he refused to take. And the things that he's been asked to do. We've been here the whole time, my husband and I ran. And I would be like, well, why you not this and that and the other? Well, at that time, he had to make his own decision, and he did. So I'm just so grateful for that. And whatever happened, I don't know the details. I'm only a year and a half older than him. So teenage years and all that, everybody knows everything. But I apologize on behalf of my brother, whatever he did, to the people that he offended or did wrong. I apologize from my heart. And he also tells me he apologized for what happened, as he said earlier. I'm just so grateful for this opportunity and for this opportunity for dismissal and release. That's what I'm believing. Because it's been a long journey. My husband and I, we are prison ministry because of this case. And it's not where we want to be, but it's where we are. So we're expecting him to come out. And we brought treasure to Dixon. I'm just about done. We brought treasure to Dixon to him within the last 3 weeks. He has a granddaughter on the way by his oldest son. No grandchildren. And the baby is due the month of his birthday, November coming. So, it's bittersweet. There's been a lot of bittersweet in life. But right now, we're just celebrating. We're celebrating because I'm believing that in 26 years, which is basically almost half of his life, and half of my life, I'm only 61. So, and my husband. And not only that, on behalf of our family, my mother, our family, we just want to say thank you all. We want to apologize again for what has been done from the heart.
Okay.
Ask for forgiveness and allow him another opportunity. Enjoy life.
Well, thank you for your words, and we'll take those into consideration. And you're a good sister for coming and talking to us. We appreciate it. Now we'll move on to those against in opposition. Mr. Randall Meyer. Mr. Meyer.
Good morning. Morning, Randall Meyer, Assistant DA, Jefferson Parish. We're opposed to Mr. Johnson. He's got an extensive criminal history, including crimes against the person and weapons offenses. This case, he carjacked a couple, stealing their car and other belongings. They fled and were arrested in the stolen vehicle later on. He was found guilty 2 counts of armed robbery, sentenced to 49 years, 6 months without benefit of parole. But we're here today under the statutes that allow him to have parole eligibility. In 2022, he was denied parole based on law enforcement operation, as well as a failure to take sufficient programmings, including sex offender treatment. Because there's a couple of sex-related issues in his both prior arrests and discipline reports while incarcerated. I think that's why the board required that. He did take the sex offender treatment, but the only other program he took was 100 hours, which is a mandated program in order to be released. So he's taken no programs to benefit himself other than what was mandated by the Committee on Parole or by state law in order for him to get out. So due to his extensive criminal background, a lack of sufficient vocational programs, and insufficient time served has only been about half of his sentence, and the nature of these offenses, we're opposed to his request for parole.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Meyer. We appreciate that. Okay, your case has been assigned to Ms. Stapleton. Ms. Stapleton, do you have some questions?
I tell you, the DA's office pretty much covered everything for me. You do have an extensive criminal history, and a lot of it was violent in the fact that they were armed robberies. You had an aggravated rape that you took a plea bargain down for. But so you have served just about half of that. So I would consider that the fact that, you know, you have not served enough time, law enforcement opposition, of course, DA opposition. I don't have anything else to say.
Perhaps someone in classification can help me there, or in programming. Has he had his GED? Has he completed a GED?
Look at it real quick. It does, it's not on my paperwork. No, man, it doesn't look like. Yeah.
No, you don't have it.
It does not appear in our paperwork.
And what about substance abuse treatment programming? I see he took drug dealers and goes to AA, but those are not considered approved substance abuse treatment.
Taking for a change of, yeah, but that, no, I don't see any specific. No.
Okay, that's all the question I had. Thank you so much.
All right, that's all the questions you have, and I simply have, I have no questions. I don't, Ms. Stapleton, you ready to?
I am. I'm gonna vote today to deny you late, due to your lack of programs other than those that's been required of you. Also that you've only served about half of your sentence, and you have opposition, extreme opposition from the district attorney's office. And that's, so today I'm gonna vote to deny.
Okay. Ms. Ledoux?
My vote is also to deny based on not having the required programming necessary. Also history of violent activity. So in opposition, I voted to deny.
Okay, and you needed 3 votes. My vote also is to deny. In addition to the things that have been mentioned by my colleagues, I see that you've been revoked 3 different times when you're out. So you got a poor history of supervision when you were out, even though that's been a long time ago. So as of today at 10:18, your parole request has been denied. And so that's the end of the hearing, 10:18. Okay, good morning. The time is 10:22 in the morning. We're continuing our hearings from Baton Rouge. As you can see from our name tags, who we are on our nameplates. We're the Lieutenant Committee on Parole. Will be determining whether you get your parole this morning. You are Mr. Sean Small, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Small, and you're at Dixon Correctional Center, and the staff there has already introduced themselves, Warden, and thank you for having us. And what is your DOC number, Mr. Small?
408425.
Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna let you tell us what you did and how you've changed since you've been there, and what kind of programming you've had, or whatever you want to say to try to convince us that you're worthy of being paroled early. Then we're gonna ask the warden to tell us what kind of fellow you've been since you've been in the institution. And then we're gonna ask questions, and then we're gonna vote. And it's about that simple. But you do have some folks that are gonna be speaking on your behalf. We have Kerry Myers, we have Terrence Wynn, and we have Satomo Small. And of course, I think behind you is Shirley Small. Is that correct? That's Shirley and Satomo. Is that correct? Behind you? Okay, all right. And then we got some folks in opposition, two people that will be speaking in opposition. So why don't you go ahead and start and just tell us why are you where you are, and why are we having this hearing today? What's changed?
First and foremost, I want to thank this parole committee for giving me an opportunity to have a hearing today. I want to first and foremost make my amends to Ms. Wilma Richheimer, to the community, her loved ones, to the Sweet Hope Police Department and Caddo Parish Sheriff Department. What happened this day was July 11, 2000. I, Sean Small, I decided I want to go joyride. Upon that, I was under the influence of powder cocaine at the time. I purchased a .45 caliber handgun from a crack addict in the street of Cedar Grove. I went to groceries on Line Avenue on July 11, 2000. I approached Ms. Richheimer. I'm nervous. This is my first time in my life ever committing an armed robbery. Excuse me. So what happened was, I never testified this gun. I'm nervous. I see Ms. Richheimer, an easy target at the time. And I'm nervous, my reach and one thing just led to another. And I stopped it with Wilma Richheimer. But my hand was on the trigger and I was nervous. I can only imagine pain, suffering that I put her through. I can only imagine how she should feel, having a screen removed, having lived that moment. Not only that, I could have got other people killed, the security guards shooting at me. I had things other people lives too as well. I don't know to my accountability, my responsibility to the public. This is somebody, grandmother, or mother, what if this was my mother, my grandmother? But the man you see now is not the same individual that I was 25 years ago. I need a correction. I need to be rehabilitated. I have myself in self-help program, substance abuse, cage array, living in a bank, and victim impact. The class I got out of was the most of victim impact was empathy. How would I feel if I was in a victim choose the trauma I put them through, how would I feel if having my family or loved one? And the pain or something I went through, I put them through. Please excuse what I'm saying. And it gave me now a whole different perception of what people went through behind my foolish action, my poor decision. I've been working down here in the gentleman's business shed for the last 10 years, keep everything up, my part-time, I train bosses, I keep myself occupied, go to school, I just completed my literacy class and kind of slow number coming up. I was in the SSI check now. I'm not using this, there's no excuse. But I found myself, but now the man that I am now, I'm no longer the same individual I was 25 years ago. My plans are just running parole today. So get my CDL. I just went down and voted last week and got my driver's license. I plan to drive trucks, be out here with my mother, my loved one, my niece and nephew, all the things I have been missing all the years. My wife, kids. Get back to the youth. And they don't make the same bad poor decision I made 25 years ago. And let them know the consequences that will be behind it if they make poor choices. I like it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. We appreciate that, Mr. Small. Appreciate your statement. Gordon, tell us about him.
Good morning. He kind of explained a lot of stuff I would have said. He's been here since 2014 at DCI. He had when we first got here, he had some write-up, and then had one blip in 2017, another write-up, but hadn't had one since. He's worked in our business shed for about 10 years, just kind of cleaning up, taking care of the business shed area. He's one of those I don't know a whole lot about, but kind of keeps his head down. I mean, I see him, I speak to him, but really he's quiet and just kind of handles his business. So don't have a lot not to talk about with.
Okay. Thank you, Warden. We appreciate that. Mr. Kerry Myers with the Louisiana Parole Project. Would you well tell you what, let's okay, go ahead, Mr. Myers, since you're already up there. Let's go ahead and tell us what you plan to do.
Should this board grant Mr. Smaller's release parole project, we'll take him into our transitional program. In phase one, he'll be in residence with us while he's going through the programming that includes assessments by our social workers. We'll open him a bank account. We'll help him with financial literacy. We'll give him peer-to-peer mentorship. He'll have instruction in financial literacy, technology. He's obviously been incarcerated for 25 years. One thing I think it's obvious from his presence and his own words that he's shown stability. He's had the same job for 10 years in the visiting shed, which is a place where he's seeing the public on a regular basis. He hasn't had a write-up in since 2017, which is 8 years. And so he's certainly shown in his own words that prison has actually helped him. Prison's changed him. Prison's given him the opportunity to make the corrections. He has achieved his literacy certificate. He's still working on his GED. That also shows commitment and the fact that he understands he needs to pursue this, his education. And so Mr. Small has shown significant improvement since his incarceration, maturity. We believe he's an excellent candidate. He has long-term support when he finishes parole project. And we would just ask this board to consider those factors in granting his parole today.
Thank you, Mr. Myers. We appreciate you and the work that your organization does. Mr. Terrence Wynn, I believe, is on Zoom with Pipe. Mr. Wynn, would you tell us what's on your mind?
Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for this opportunity to speak for Sean. Sean is a person that I know intimately. We work together. We used to have deep conversations. And like the warden said, Sean is really a quiet, thoughtful person. If Sean was granted parole today, once he leaves the parole project, we would offer him the opportunity to work with youth through our youth program so that he could train them. And while he's training them, he could be giving them his experiences so that they don't follow in his footsteps. Because drugs is a big thing that's keeping kids going on bad paths. And he's a perfect example of drugs taking you down a path that you don't want to go down. So we would offer him an opportunity to help righting his wrong through helping these kids. And I know he's remorseful for the crime that he committed, the crime that has him living it. He's been living it for 25 years, but he's constantly trying to better himself because of that crime, because had he not committed the crime, he wouldn't be doing the things that he's doing to better himself. So he's had a really great chance at looking within so that he can give from that place that he's at right now. So we're here to support him in any way that he needs once he's granted his freedom, if given that opportunity. So thank y'all.
Okay, Mr. Wynn, thank you very much, and thank you for what your group does. We appreciate that. We'll move back to Dixon and speak to Miss Small's sister. Miss Small, would you tell us what's on your mind, please, ma'am?
Good morning. How are y'all doing today?
Good morning. Fine.
Thank you. I speak on behalf of my baby brother. My brother pretty much summed up everything. My brother, first of all, I want to give my brother is very remorseful to Miss Wilmer family. He has so much empathy over these 25 years. That's all he has always talked about, how remorseful he was for the crimes he committed to even be here. I'm founder and CEO too. I have my own nonprofit too. Something safe to do. My brother serves on the board, actually from jail. He has given me several programs that I have launched. I help women and men transitioning from jail and homeless. My brother, when we was coming up, always was a quiet child, special needs. So he was easy to influence and not try to make anything up for what he did to Ms. Wilmer, because he has took accountability to that. But when you on drugs at a young age, at 19, you're impressionable and you're easy to influence. Anything can happen when you're on the influence of drugs. But one thing I can say about my brother these last 25 years, he has truly changed. He has become a better man. He is always talking about Ms. Wilmer, how he infected her family by him doing this crime. Her family was infected as well by her age, because we have a brother and a mother. He has always expressed how much sympathy and remorse that he has. My brother has did so much in this jail to make himself a better person. He has made me a better big sister, even from him being in jail, from mental to me with strength and just going on, even when you don't want to go on. And so if granted parole today, he has the stability. He has several nonprofits he can work with. I'm even doing a program for my brother, which will be called Men and Women Making Moves. And that would say men and women that has been incarcerated, mentoring back to the youth to show them not to become what my brother have. My brother would be one of the speakers that talk to them, to tell them the truth about jail, what drugs and alcohol does would get you in trouble and get you incarcerated, and what can we do to stop this from happening. And we don't want to see this no more. If granted parole, my brother will be a productive citizen. I already know that. He's willing to give back. He has the heart to give back. And we just thank you for even granting him parole, for listening to us today. And just if granted parole, we will be so remorseful and just thankful for a second chance in life. And I can say one thing before I leave, my brother is the change. He's not his past, he is his future, and he is the change for a better person.
Okay, Ms. Small, thank you very much. You're a good sister. take what you had to say into consideration also. We'll move on to those in opposition. We have two in opposition. One is Leona Fitzgerald, and the second is Cynthia Height. Cynthia, why don't you start us off, if you would, please, ma'am? You're on mute, ma'am.
Thank you very much. I'm the niece to Wilder Ritzheimer, the victim, and all of the family members have handled this experience in different ways. One part of my journey was to volunteer with prison ministry and to learn more about what goes on with those who have been incarcerated. And some of the things that I've been listening for is what Sean's plan is once he gets out, who his support system is. And I'm really pleased to hear that he has family supporting him and that he's gotten his driver's license and has a plan to drive a truck. Family members who are who are part, connected to this are incarcerated right there with him. And although it has been very painful, each of us have recovered, I'm pleased to say, in different ways, even though when these tears aren't necessarily sad tears, they're just, I think, tears of closure. And I feel really honored to be able to speak before the board today, and I would support his parole.
Okay. All right. Well, we appreciate that. And the final person that was going to speak, Ms. Leona Fitzgerald, in opposition, was with the Caddo DA's victim assistance. But she was unable to get on the Zoom today because of a prior engagement that came up. So she will not be speaking. Okay, this is Mr. Small, the case has been assigned to me. You were charged with armed robbery, attempted second-degree murder, and as a habitual offender. And in 2003, you got 50 years on each count, and they were to run concurrent. Jury found you guilty. The way I understand the case, you had a 45 automatic pistol, semi-automatic pistol, approached a woman at Brookshire's on Line Avenue, and a lady, 70-something-year-old lady, getting in a car. You grabbed her keys, tried to get in the car. She resisted, and you end up shooting this lady a couple of times. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then you got in the car and took off and fled, and the security guard shot at the car and hit the car and ended up hitting you in the leg. Is that correct?
It's my name, sir.
Okay. All right. I'm just making sure I understood the facts correctly. The DA, the sheriff, the chief of police, and the attorney general are opposed. Let's see. I believe that's all the questions I have. You've got a 50-year sentence, and you've been in jail for how many years?
25 years.
25. So you've served 50% of serious crime. All right, that's all the questions I have, Ms. Stapleton.
I don't have any questions.
Ms. Jerry? Okay, I'd like to go to an executive session, please.
I'll second.
Creel,
Yes.
Stapleton,
Yes.
Ledoux.
Yes.
Okay, we'll be in executive session for just a short moment, and then we'll be right back out and continue with this hearing. Thanks. Okay, time is 10:46. We're coming out of executive session, but we need a motion and a second to come out of executive session back into the regular committee of parole meeting. So we have a motion.
I'll
And a
make
And a
that.
second.
Yeah.
We're all in favor. There's nobody in opposition. So we're back into the regular session. Mr. Small, we talked about some procedural matters. And I'm the one that had the responsibility of asking questions, and so therefore I have to vote first. And this is very difficult for me to do. I guess it's difficult, but it's also easier because I know where it is, and I've shopped there, and I'm very familiar with the situation. What I think the one thing that's very important to me is the remorse that you've shown. I think that you truly are remorseful for what you've done. You've had a stable, since being in corrections, you've had a stable history out there. You got good support, between, what Pipe and, Parole Project want to do. So short sentences, I'm gonna vote to grant, your parole today. That would be my vote. It takes a unanimous vote, but my vote's to grant. Ms. Stapleton?
And I concur with Mr. Frater for the same reasons. I did hear the, remorse. I did hear the victim's name, her first name mentioned throughout the whole entire hearing. You talked about her, your sister talked about her. That's something that a lot of people, you'll hear them say the incident and the person, but they won't make it personal like the person's name, which you did. And the conversations that y'all are having to follow, that you will continue this conversation with people as to what are the consequences of crime to the victim and also to the offender. So, I'm going to vote today to grant that very same reason.
Ms. Jerry?
Mr. Small, I would really like for you to complete your GED. And October 10th, 2025 is a parole eligibility date. So my vote today is going to be to grant, but you need to finish that GED. And you were a 19-year-old drug addict who made unbelievably poor decisions that resulted in significant harm, but the bravery of the victim's relative has been a significant impact on my decision. You're well-spoken, you're remorseful. My vote is to grant to the Parole Project, first of all, and follow all of their guidelines for a period of no less than 9 months.
Okay. All right. As of 10:49 this morning, your parole has been granted. Congratulations on that, and wish you the best.
Thank you.
Okay, good morning, Mr. Thomas McKelvin. Is that you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what is your DOC number, Mr. McKelvin?
My DOC number is 127322.
Okay, thank you, and we look forward to talking to you in just a minute. We're going to ask you to tell us why you're there and why you feel like you deserve to be paroled today. And then we're going to talk to the warden about exactly what kind of fellow you've been while you've been there. We're going to talk to next Mr. Randall Meyer. He's in opposition, and then we'll switch to the ones in favor, Mr. Kerry Myers, and then your brother, who both want to speak to us on Zoom. So then we'll ask a few questions and we'll make our decision. So why don't you go ahead and start us off, Mr. McKelvin, and tell us just exactly what you did, why you did it, what you've done and learned since you've been incarcerated.
So I did wrong. I got on some drugs, but I should not have did, run out of money, so I tried to go and get it by any means I could, I never had a weapon or a firearm, but I went and robbed anyway because using my, my voice, and scaring people, and I'm really remorseful over that, because those people right now, even today, might be still terrified by what happened to them. And I wanted to apologize even to my family, because that's what really hurts too, and not just the person who, I did the crime to. And I'm sorry for all that. I really am. And all these years, I've been schooled and I've been all the programs, and I did what I had to do to straighten my life out, do better, and try to be a better man than what I was, all the mess up that I did, I'm really sorry for it. And I paid time for it, and I'm paying for it, and it's still paying. And I just want to get out so I can try to be a stable person and do right in society, and try to help my children, my grandchildren now, my children are all grown. I got grandkids, and I'm trying to, be a stable and a person that they can look up to, try to help them in their life as they coming up. I'm just really sorry for what I did.
Okay.
I just want to apologize to everybody, even to y'all. Well, y'all got to come here and listen and try to evaluate to see if I'm gonna be a better person and with y'all, let me go and go out there and do right, or I might not go out there and do right. Y'all got that's on y'all, and that's a lot of stuff on y'all to do. I apologize for having y'all have to go through that yourself. See, evaluate that I'm a person that pretty capable of going back out and doing right. That's what I've been intending to do. I've been on the straight and narrow since I've been locked up to now. I'm gonna stay that way, no matter what. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir, for those words. Warden, what kind of fellow has he been?
Good morning. He's been good. His last write-up was in 2018, and I think that was playing cards on a bed during count, something like that. So it wasn't real serious, but that was his last write-up. He's a disabled assistant. He helps us with even with his age, with some other inmates who can't quite get around as much, he helps out with those inmates, being able to assist them and things like that, which is very helpful. He's been here at DCI since '99, so I know him well. And he doesn't get in any trouble. Little knick-knack stuff here, but like I said, since 2018, he's always willing to help when asked to. He's a pride member, which means he's been out of trouble for a while and gets the benefits of that. So as far as him being since his incarceration with us, he's done well, and he's done a lot of programs. I see he got a GED and some programs as well. So the faith and character-based dormitory is one of my I think faith is what can really heal all, and that he went through that, so I believe that was a good thing too. So thank you.
Thank you, Ward. Appreciate that. Mr. Randall Meyer, I believe you wanted to be next, and so we'll take you out of. out of the
Thank
normal
you.
turn and tell us what you're thinking.
We appreciate that. Yeah. So Randall Myers, Assistant DA, we're opposed at this time. Big reason is in 2022, Mr. McKelvin's denied parole because the committee felt he needed a long-term substance abuse program, which he has not taken. He's taking Celebrate Recovery and Living in Balance, but not a long-term program. I think his other vocational programs have been limited. So for those reasons, we're opposed. He committed a pretty tough offense of 4 armed robberies, using a knife that he's put up against the body of the victims. It was on good time at the time he committed the offense. So we're opposed to those reasons. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. I appreciate that. Appreciate your words. Okay, we'll move into Kerry Myers, no kin with the Louisiana Parole Project. Yes, sir. Would you tell us what's on your mind?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Prater. Mr. McKelvin has served 80% of his sentence. He served 28 years on a 35-year sentence. He's 69 years old. During his incarceration, he's earned 390 days of CTRP credits. He also has a good time date in 2031, a release date. So this board has the opportunity today to consider his record, to consider his age, to consider the time served, and should they grant parole today, place conditions on that parole, something that they would not be able to do should he good time out in 2031. He has completed Celebrate Recovery and Living in Balance. Celebrate Recovery is an ongoing program. It is a faith-based AA type program that he can continue to seek once he gets released on the outside. Should he come to Parole Project in his transition, we understand his long-term plan is to want to go to Tennessee with his family. We have not confirmed whether his ICOTS has been approved or not at this point, but we're certainly prepared to provide him residence until such time. But we'll also make sure he gets connected to continuation of those programs while he is with us. Based on those things, the warden's comments and his age and time served, would ask this board just to consider his granting his parole today with the conditions the board deems necessary.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you and the work that y'all do. We'll move to Wendell and Patricia McKelvin, who assume Wendell is the brother of Mr. Thomas McKelvin. Mr. Wendell, would you go ahead and tell us what's on your mind? Make sure you're not muted.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Okay.
Sir?
We can hear
All
you
right.
now.
Okay. Thank you. I just want to thank you all for this opportunity to come before you guys, and just thank you for what you guys are doing, the health and care that you had allowed my brother to have while he's there. I've speak with my brother often. He calls me and we talk, and he always share with me the things that he's doing for us, the curriculums and things that he's taken up. And I was excited to see that he got his GED, and look at everything he's doing is for him to progress, into society. I'm encouraged to hear how his heart is, about his family, and just being a role model for his family, and just trying to make up the time that he had lost with them. He's been very remorseful, and looking behind, seeing what he has done. So he's set his heart to do whatever he can to make up, for those things that he had done wrong, by setting his heart to do things that is right now. He put in position, the necessary things that he needs to do to assure of that being a success, with the ongoing not so much treatment, with the ongoing classes that AA and all that he need to do to ensure that he can have the strength and the equipment to move forward with his life, with his family once parole. I'm encouraged to see all the things that he took the initiative to do to show that he's willing, he's ready to move forward. You said if given the privilege to do that. And I just want to thank you guys for allowing him the opportunity with the programs that you guys have in place, to help assist in him becoming a better place. Not just him, but others that are in there. It's really encouraging to see and to hear these things that have been done inside the facility. And I think for what he has done, the time that he has served, that he has shown that he's taken initiative and also the responsibility for his action that he have done in the past to show that he want to move forward and do better. He's remorseful for what he has done, and he's showing that he's willing to move forward. He just asks the court to hear him and to give him this opportunity to move forward. And so he's showing great stride. And I guess you guys look at the paperwork, as the gentleman has said prior to me speaking, Mr. Myers, that he had done a lot. He helped assisting with people that are also somewhat disabled and helping them. He fit in whatever he's needed at. And I'm encouraged by seeing that shows taking great initiative, and to see that it's harder for those that are less fortunate what he is. He's willing to help and assist, where in the past it did not show it, but now he's showing that. So if the court, you guys will just consider all that and your decision, what you make today, because I think he's very remorseful, and I think the time that he has spent and what he has shown, he's ready to be, to move forward with his life, if granted. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir. You're a good brother. And you live in Tennessee, is that correct?
No, his daughter's in Tennessee. That's where he want to be, released to, and they're so excited, to do that. I'm his brother. So I'm in McKinney, Texas. That's where I'm calling from. And his daughter, Katrina, I think she's on. I'm not mistaken. I spoke with her this morning. They said that she would be on, but I'm standing with them. I have the ability to be there in Tennessee, my wife and I. So to help in whichever way that we can.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you for those words. Okay. Now the case has been assigned to Ms. Ledoux, who's the chief examiner, and we'll turn it over to you.
Hi.
Good morning, Mr. McKelvin.
Good morning.
So you were seen in 2022 and you received a split decision at that time. 2 people denied, 1 granted, correct?
I'm sorry, I missed what you just said.
When you were seen in 2022,
okay,
you had a split decision. Go
okay.
ahead, George. I can tell.
I think Wendell thinks you're talking to him. Mr. Wendell, you can mute yours. They're talking.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, because yeah.
That's right.
In 2022, you were given a split decision, two denied, 1 granted, right? What did they tell you to do? Why did they deny you? Do you remember?
It was the program, man. When we came up for the 2022 thing, it was right in September. And they wanted to get into programs, and we didn't, just started it, and the thing was in January the 1st, I think. Was it January the 4th or something like that. And the board, and I didn't have enough certificates and stuff, that's the only thing that they died before, because I didn't have enough programs up under my sleeve. So I had the 100 hours and not living in balance, but what that is, cage your rage and stuff like that, substance abuse and all that. But they wanted me to have more certificates and go on to more programs. That's what it's about.
And the reason I bring that up is since 2022, you've done Living in Balance, Nurturing Parenting, Celebrate Recovery. So you have availed yourself to some more programming. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Which program has been the most impactful for you?
I think living in balance, it, you know, is a program where you learn how to be disciplined in the situation of what you're doing and, try to get yourself in a better position to do better when you leave out this here institution, how to better organize yourself to be a better parent. In my case, a better grandparent, and have stability, be a loving parent, and that's what I intend to be, especially to my grandkids. Try to, instill into them something better for themselves, try to help them with their education, try to do better for their life. That's what I really want to do, to help them to be better, get educated and do better and, try to stay away from bad company.
So your current position or job assignment is an orderly helping others. Were you assigned to that, or did you have any willingness to do that? Or were you assigned?
That's within me, I'm by nature. You help people, people that in worse shape and not, better off than what I am. I'm trying to, talk to them and encourage them, even some of the youngsters that come in here now, their mind is messed up out there in the world. And they think that's not the end. It's a better way, and faith-based is one of the best place for them, and the programs that they got here, Warden Bickham got, not celebrate the problem, but sober living and all the programs he's implemented in here, it's helping people, even though they still got stuff that's bad, but they helping people when they get out and doing better with their life. And that's what I do. I help people and try to talk to them and, just comfort them, even though I'm in, in this situation, but it helps you. When you help somebody, it really helps you.
The short answer is he volunteered.
I get emotional. I'm sorry, y'all.
Okay, I have only one more question.
Yes, ma'am.
And that deals with the ICOTS plan. So you have a daughter, you said, in Tennessee that you would be going to live with long-term? That would, I'm understanding. You want to go to Tennessee long-term to live with your daughter?
That's where my all my grandkids are at now. I got 5. And my daughter's there, her husband is stable, they got their own home and everything, He was in Milwaukee and he moved to Tennessee because of the cold weather. And then he moved down to Tennessee and then he stabilized there, Okay. Got a younger daughter, she got 3 of my grandkids, she moved down there with them,
Okay.
I just
Well,
like
it's all 124 pages of your record. So yes, you can apologize that we have to read all that. But I don't have any more.
I'm sorry, but my God. Thank you, Lord.
You got any questions?
Yeah, I just want to go back to how everybody was feeling about the long-term substance abuse. Is that something offered where he's at, or does he need to go somewhere else to get that?
That's something like long-term treatment is really not all. We have programs and classes to help along, which he's participating in, but any type of long-term substance abuse in direction is not here. It's going to be other like Bossier, I think, has one, something like that.
Yeah, because we keep talking about the fact that that was what led up to the armed robberies, was that, and so that was my question.
Has he ever had a write-up for any kind of alcohol or mojo or anything like that?
Been down a while. I have to look and see.
I've been clean.
I think he's been pretty. I don't see any 14 or 21, ones. I don't see any else that I'm glancing through. I don't see any. I've never known him to be like that, to be honest with you. He's been clean since I've known him.
Okay, yeah. Contrary to popular belief, they can get it there.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, they can. Unfortunately, they can't.
Okay, that was one of the questions I.
Okay, let's play what if.
Mhm.
What if you get paroled and you don't get the ICOT or the agreement signed with Tennessee? Say Tennessee doesn't want you up there.
I have the
What-
new parole project and then try to get into a facility that could assist me. They will help me with that. If they don't, but I know all the while that they will accept me up there. But if they don't, we gonna work something out here, you know. I've been clean for 28 years and I'm staying on that road. My word is my rep. That's all I got left. And I'm gonna do what I say. Not just a talk, it's a walk. I've been doing it for 28 years and it's not gonna vary. No matter what I'm at. Excuse me. No matter what I'm at.
Okay, was anybody hurt in any of these crimes?
So nobody was hurt, I don't think.
Nobody was in.
They was hurt. They was hurt by mental things and stuff. I never had a firearm to shoot or nothing like that, but it just stick in my finger. But I was terrorizing people with my own, I was a terrorist. Put it that way with my vocal.
Okay, thank you, sir. That's all I got. I think we're ready to vote, Mr. Duke.
Today, my vote is to grant parole, that you go to the Parole Project. While at the Parole Project, I would like for you to take some kind of victim awareness class. I know you haven't had that. I think that would be helpful, Mr. Myers. I don't know, even if it's tutoring with someone there in the facility. And I base that decision upon no victim opposition, good programming. I am impressed with your job classification, what you've done, and your stated remorse. So my vote today is to grant.
Okay, you got one vote, you need three.
Okay.
Ms. Davis.
I'm gonna concur with my colleague for the same reasons.
Okay, and I'm gonna concur too. I think you ought to be granted your parole. And so we're gonna turn you over to Mr. Myers and see what he can do with you. And he's gonna help us and keep us informed and I appreciate one thing you said that I would just want to take a second. I appreciate you realizing that whatever decisions made today reflects directly on us. If you go out and shoot somebody or stick somebody or whatever, then they look at us as being the ones that actually did it. And you realize that. And you realize the chance we're taking on you. And I don't think you're gonna let us down. So congratulations. As of 11/24, you're granted parole.
I'm almost, y'all still hear me?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go
I want to hear
ahead.
it.
I'm almost 70 years old. I never shot a gun, a hell of a gun. I shot a 12 gauge one time over and knocked my shoe off. I never shot that. No, I was 13 years old then. My daddy used to watch them cowboys, used to watch them. They come in there, Saturday mornings, and then you could be shooting a gun and you could backfire and hit them. The daddy used to tell me, see, you don't know how to use that. Well, don't never use no gun. But when I grew up, we didn't use all that like they got now. Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Cornell Alexander, is that your name?
Yes, sir.
And what is your DLC number?
Sir, DOC number 334717.
Okay, and we're in Baton Rouge, and you can see by our name tags who we are. We're continuing. We've had a number of hearings today, a number of them at Dixon, as a matter of fact, and we're back at Dixon. Warden, thank you once again for hosting us, and we appreciate that. Mr. Alexander, what we're going to do first is let you talk about why you're where you are and why you think you're worthy of being paroled early. Then we're going to let the warden talk about what kind of fellow you are. Then we're going to have some folks that speak on your behalf and some speak against you getting out on parole. Then we're going to ask some questions and then we're going to make our decision. So right away, let's go ahead to you, Mr. Alexander. Tell us why you're there and why you think you ought to be getting out.
I'm here because for the simple fact, me and my ex-girlfriend Florence, I was stressed out, went to the house, got in the house and stabbed.
Okay.
And what I should have did, instead of calling the police, I called my mom. Instead of calling my mom, I should have called the police. Truly big mistake. Long as it's stressed out listening to other people when I should have, because I knew Florence better than that. And not on top of that, it was just bad, poor decision. Poor decision. Because not only I heard it Florence, I heard it my mom, because they was close friends, and big, huge part of my mistake. Only reason why I can say I did it, really because it was the honest truth. I was stressed out, I was illness, and I ain't never talked about that on the last on the last parole board hearing. I didn't speak on that, and really that was the reason why. It wasn't because I was angry or I was upset, mad with Florence or anything else. It was just, me being stupid. And I hope every day I pray that she forgives. Every day. I really, truly hope that she be.
Okay. All right, Warden, what kind of fellow has he been?
Far as incarceration, he goes, he had a write-up since 2014, and that was a fight back then. He's a dorm rep, which every housing area has a representative that we have meetings once a month. They bring forth issues that we can talk about and things like that. So he's a dorm rep, works in the warehouse, and he doesn't give us any trouble as far as that goes.
Okay, thank you, Warden. We appreciate that. Well, we're going to move on to those in support, and we'll first hear from, we've got 3 people that are going to be speaking on Zoom. We have 2 cousins and a mother. The mother's Patsy Alexander, and then Wendy Alexander and Adrian Angel are going to be speaking on behalf of you. They're all on Zoom, so we'll go straight into the mother, talking to the mother. And when we talk, let's limit your remarks to 2 to 3 minutes, which is a lot longer than it sounds. But we have a number of people that want to speak. Then we'll have some people that want to speak in opposition. So, Miss Patsy Alexander, the mother of Cornell Alexander, would you give us your thoughts on why he should be paroled?
Yes, as a matter of fact, my name is Patsy. I'm Cornell's mom. I find that Cornell showed a lot of accountability for his mistakes, for his actions, and I know he showed a lot of displayed and oh Lord, forgive me, and compassion. And also, I feel that Cornell matured a lot since he was for the time that he spent in prison. And also, I think Cornell could have the potential and be productive as a member of the society. And I feel that I know he is so sorry about what happened and the day that it happened. And that's all I have to say.
Okay.
But I think he could do well in society as a member of the society.
Okay. Thank you very much for your remarks. We'll move on to Wendy Alexander, her cousin. Wendy, okay, you're there. Good. Good morning.
Sorry about that. I muted automatically. My name is Wendy Alexander. Cornell is actually my second cousin. Cornell and I have always, he's actually my god brother as well. His father was my godparent and my first cousin. We've always had a very special and close relationship. He is inherently a very good person. I'm not excusing the behavior. He has made some mistakes in his life, but I do believe in redemption. I know that he is sorry for his actions. He's definitely said here that he has remorse and has apologized for his actions. And I believe that he has served his time and should have an opportunity to spend the rest of his life with his family, and so that he can be a productive member of society.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that. Nice words from a second cousin. Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to Adrian Angel. Is Miss Angel available?
I'm sorry. Yes, I am. I was trying
to.
I'm trying to
Thank
mute
you.
myself.
Appreciate you being there. Are you a cousin or a second cousin?
I'm a first cousin of Cornell Alexander, also his big sister.
Okay.
Cornell and I have a very close relationship. And I feel that through speaking to him on on occasions, that he has a lot of remorse for what has been done. And I also feel that, through being incarcerated, that he realized that the decisions that he made in life was not the right decisions. But after being incarcerated for so many years, that he also realized that, it is consequences that you have to suffer through whenever you do things that you shouldn't be doing. I feel he has matured a lot, and he has a very supportive family, and we will be very supportive of him. And that, through maturity, he realized his actions that was done was not correct, but he will do well in society. It's my decisions. It's my feelings.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate you coming forward and telling us that. And we'll take that into consideration also. We'll move on now to the opposition, folks that are opposed, and we'll speak to Miss Florence Mason first. Miss Mason, are you on the, there you go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am here. I am Florence Mason. I oppose and will always oppose because Cornell Alexander, after he stabbed me, I pleaded with him when I was bleeding after that, over and over and over, to call the authorities, which he refused. He got on after stabbing me with me helpless. He got on top of me and sexually assaulted me. He did not think of my 3 minor kids, leaving them without a mom. My lungs was collapsing when he finally decided to call someone. He called his mother, which seemed like hours passed. Back then, I was going in and out. When his mom came, she screamed, "What did you do? What did you do, Cornell? What did you do, Cornell?" She ran to the neighbor, Miss Costley, and she called 911.
All right. Well, thank you.
And also, he has never apologized for his actions. When we initially went to court, he told when Mr. Cedars asked if he would like to speak or apologize to Ms. Mason, he said he didn't have anything to say. All he could say was it didn't have nothing to do with me, but yet it was me that he did it to.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate that. We're sorry for whatever we can say that it occurred. Okay, we'll move on to Kelsey Mason, who is there. I assume that's Kelsey.
Yes, sir. I am Kelsey. So I am here in support of my mother, Florence Mason. I'm Kelsey Mason. and I also opposed to his release. So I was not a part of the prior hearing, but I was, asked by my mother to help assist her today. So all I could think about at that time, being a young child, so a child who was used to her mother picking her up from the daycare, with my sibling at the time, not being there that day, and me asking the questions, where is mom? Where is mom? Where is mom? And my aunt at the time who picked us up, she would not tell us until we took a short drive to Lafayette. And then she finally said, so I could not even imagine what my life would have been like losing my mom, and fast forwarding to now if I didn't have her here, and the mother that she is to us. But I do remember those days of living with my grandparents for almost a month or 2 months after the incident, living with my grandparents, and the transition of having to move out of our home because my mom didn't feel safe. Even knowing that he was incarcerated, she didn't feel safe. And even upon us finally returning home, I could remember my mother calling the victims, and I may be saying the name wrong, but the Victims Association, calling literally every single day before we would step foot in our home to make sure that he was still incarcerated. So I think the long lasting trauma of that as a child and growing into that as an adult, and that being a part of like my testimony as an adult, I think that within itself is traumatic. And just my mom thinking about the outcome if he is granted, parole, of, things that she has to do to feel safe mentally, emotionally, has also caused some trauma as well. So I do thank you for allowing, me to speak today, and that you take, our words into consideration.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate y'all coming forward. I know it's difficult, and we'll take what you had to say very seriously, and we apologize for whatever that means. I'm sorry that it occurred. Okay, we'll move on now to Tony Phillips. Mr. Phillips, are you on the? There you go. I assume, is that a Tony? Is that a man, Tony, or a lady?
I'm a female, sir.
Okay. Would you talk to us and tell us what's on your mind and why you were opposed?
Good afternoon. I am the first victim, his son's mother. My case has always been overlooked, I guess, because I've never came to a parole hearing for my own personal healing. He should never forget how he gutted me like a fish with a dinner fork. And as my 3-year-old son sat in my blood, he whispered the words, "If I can't have you, no one will." He left me for dead, and if it had not been for my younger brother, I'd still be dead today. He ripped me through my cervix, causing extensive damage to my uterus and my fallopian tubes. I was told at 19 years old I would never be able to conceive again. If I would conceive, I would never. 5 years later, I died faulty, I had pain, depression, pain, and I will live. I have a history with the family, and it's a good one. But I've hidden my hands for too long while my incident got overlooked. Today confirms he still has no remorse for what he's done to me, and no accountability, only excuses. As you could see, he doesn't even mention it. As the last parole hearing, he didn't even mention it. Every time he was asked, he overlooked it and spoke of our son. And what's sad is our son is 36 years old, and he still yearns for the love and presence of his father, who he's probably seen 6 years out of 36 inconsecutively. And what may seem as a blessing to his family to have him home may this time be a death sentence to another woman. The manipulation and the desperation of loved ones yearning for a rehabilitated man who probably will never be rehabilitated bothers me. I'm very fearful of what he can do if he gets out. I feel he will offend again, and I feel he is a threat. And I say that with every being in me because I know my son loves his father and I've never kept him from him. But today, as a certified victim advocate, I have a voice. And the very thing that tore Miss Mason and I apart now brought us together. We have been friends since the incident. And the very thing that brings us together now is him. I'm sorry if I've seemed bothered, but it hurts like hell. It hurts like the first day he did it. And it was no, I'm sorry's. It was pure manipulation by family members to make me feel guilty to speak on my son's father. So today, I say it with every being in me. You need rehabilitation. You need help. Thank you, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips. And again, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you feel like, or that you're, I don't know, I wasn't there, but that you weren't listened to or your case was overlooked. It certainly wasn't overlooked in our notes because we all read them, read your case. I assume that's, I think it's in 1992, if I remember, a good bit before this particular case, the incident case that we're on. But we're very familiar with your case and how horrible it was. And I'm very sorry for your injuries, both physically and mentally, and those of your children. And so I just wanted to be sure to say that. Thank you for appearing before us today on Zoom. Okay, we've heard, this case is assigned to me, Mr. Alexander. We've heard people speak on your behalf, and we've heard people speak against. And having read the case thoroughly on a couple of occasions, because it took that much, I've got a, I don't know if I got any questions or not. The case was, the first case was so horrible, and the second was just as horrible, but in a different way. How long did that lady stay on the floor after you stabbed her?
30 minutes, maybe an hour.
About an hour while she bled, huh? Okay. I could go on and on, but I choose not to. How long have you been in jail?
22 and a half, sir.
22 and a half? And how long was your sentence?
45.
45? Okay. I don't have any other questions.
I just want to ask clarification there. Actually, we have a 50-year sentence. Has he had pre-release?
No.
No. Has he had substance abuse? Certified substance abuse treatment program.
No, I don't see anything in here. I don't see it. He had sex offenders treatment and health care provider treatment. I don't, it does AANA, but that's not.
That's not true. Okay.
No, he didn't.
Question.
Ms. Evans?
Mine is just, first of all, I want to congratulate the survivors of your crime. Your crime was heinous, it was brutal, and it was a rape. I've never read of anything like that on here. Both of them ended up with ambulances and they had emergency surgeries. And we did hear the testimony of one of your ladies that, you know, her injuries are lifelong. So I think you did exactly what you wanted to do that day. That's what you said you wanted to do, and that's what you did. You hurt her to the max. It's a miracle that they're still alive. and they feel safe as long as you're in jail. So I think that's where you need to be.
Okay, are there any other questions? No questions. I think it's time to vote, and I'll be the first to vote. And for a number of reasons, but mainly because of the seriousness of the crime, I think you ought to spend your whole time in prison. My vote is to deny.
My vote is to deny. I concur with Mr. Prater. Crimes were heinous, brutal, and you need to serve your entire years.
My vote is to concur and deny. I'm not going to say what I feel like I need to say. You can deny.
Thank you. Thank you. As of 11:52, your parole's been denied. Thank you, Warden.
Thank you. All right.
Okay, good afternoon. It just turned noon, 12 o'clock exactly. We're continuing our hearings from Baton Rouge. This is the Committee on Parole. You can see from our name tags who we are. Staff is the same as introduced earlier in the morning. We're at Dixon, or speaking to Dixon on the Zoom to talk about Daryl Jarrell's parole request. Mr. Jarrell, I assume that's you. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
What is your DOC number?
88772.
Okay, and Warden, we appreciate you hosting us again and accommodating us. Appreciate that. Mr. Jarrell, what we're gonna do this morning is we're gonna hear from you about what you did and why you feel like that now you've served enough time and you're worthy of getting paroled. Then we're gonna hear from the warden about your demeanor and behavior while you've been institutionalized. Then with Ms. Ledoux is going to be the chief interviewer, and she's going to ask you some questions. Then we'll follow up, and then we'll make our decision. So it's real simple. Mr. Kerry Myers is going to speak on your behalf about what Louisiana Parole Project is willing to do to further your help should you get paroled. So we'll leave it up to you, Mr. Jarrell, to go ahead and give us your thoughts. Tell them why you're there and why you deserve a parole.
I sent 2 people into a house to kill somebody. And they got an attempted murder charge off of it. As far as I'm concerned, I feel like there's nothing that I can do to change the fact that I've messed up his life and mine. And for that, I'm sorry. I've tried everything in my power to correct my ways, and I think I've done a pretty good job.
Okay.
I've taken all the classes I could. I've tried to better myself and better everybody that's around me.
Okay.
I try to be a positive influence.
Okay. All right. Well, we appreciate that, sir. And Warden, what kind of fellow has Mr. Jarrell been since he's been in your care?
Well, I'll tell you, he came here in around 2020, I believe, and that was actually about the time of his last write-up, in around 2020. So for 5 years, he's been staying away from him, and I don't mind saying, I asked him, I do interviews with him beforehand, kind of getting around, and I was like, what changed? You know, what happened here? And he was honest with me and said that he had no hope until the law changed around that time and actually gave him a parole date. And then he realized, all right, I actually do have some hope and things. So that was, because I couldn't figure out what changed. So that was, I think, the catalyst that changed what was going on. So the past 5 years, he stayed away from write-up. He does the inside maintenance. He works on our inside because he's not trustee, so he stays within the facility, but he does a lot of floor work and tile work and things like that, helping keep the facility up and going and stuff. And we're very grateful for that. And but like I said, over the past 5 years, he's doing well. Okay,
thank you, Ward. Appreciate that. Let's move on. Kerry Myers. Mr. Myers, would you tell us what parole project is willing to be involved in?
All right, good afternoon. Kerry Myers with Louisiana Parole Project. I'm here to let the board know that we've accepted Mr. Jarrell into our program. Should the board grant us parole today, we'll provide him transitional housing. We will, beyond transitional housing, we will connect him with long-term housing. We'll provide him with programming that includes the services that he needs. We'll connect him to medical services. We'll connect him to any substance abuse services that he might need after an evaluation by our social workers. We'll provide programming and financial literacy, social norms, consumer skills, technology, the things that he would need after 25 years of incarceration.
Okay, thank you, sir. We appreciate that. Thank you for the work that y'all do. Your case has been assigned to Ms. Jerry Ledoux to my right. And so if you would start the question, and appreciate it.
How much did you pay Mr. Solomon Washington and Andrew Mabry? How much did you pay them?
Nothing, ma'am.
Huh?
Nothing.
So why did they go in and perform? I mean, they were the trigger people, but they did that on their own, just no payment from you?
No, ma'am, they was expecting payment on later on down the road,
Okay, how much did you promise to pay?
$1,000.
Okay, I'm not gonna beat around the bush. Your history bothers me. You've had several armed robberies, an escape. Did you ever have continued employment? Did you have a problem with substance abuse? Did you have problems with housing? What led you to this life of crime?
Housing and substance abuse.
So this was your ex-wife's boyfriend, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you knew your child was in the house?
He was all the way in the back of the house. It was in the front.
Okay. I don't have any other questions. You've served just a little bit above 50% on this sentence. I don't have any other questions. Do my colleague want to chime in?
I have no, well, excuse me, Inspector, turn.
Yeah, I just, I know you say that, you thought about that you could do if you could do everything over again, okay? That's what everybody says after the fact. But this man that was shot multiple times, his life will be forever altered. When you get out, I don't care what age that is, this man will still be suffering because just one thing, his leg was shattered in 12 pieces. And then internally, the different organs that were destroyed internally, that his life will never be the same. And like we just heard, and really you downplayed that. There were 2 6-year-olds in the house, and you said, oh, but they were in the back of the house. So what do you think about that when they heard that and then they came running to the front and saw this carnage? I mean, you really did. You just downplayed what she just brought up, which is horrific. So, and you have a very extensive criminal history, which is violent, which is filled with violence. So that's all I have to say about this. Other than the DA is strongly opposed. Offender tried to have the victim murdered while children were present. I think that really does bother anybody.
Okay, I don't have any questions. Are we ready to vote?
My vote is to deny parole. Prior criminal history, lack of regard for his children. My vote is to deny.
Okay, let's vote.
My vote is to deny extensive criminal history, lack of remorse.
Okay, my vote is likewise to deny prior criminal history, and I think you need to serve some more time. Time is 12:09 and your parole has been denied.
You're unmuted.
Okay, we're the Committee on Parole in Baton Rouge. You can see our name tags there, who we are. And we're going to continue our hearings. This will be our last one at Dixon, I believe. The time is 12:17 in the afternoon. And Warden, we appreciate again you hosting us there. And thank you for that. Mr. Charles Sherman, is that your name?
Yes, sir.
What is your DLC number, Mr. Sherman?
481903.
Okay. You've requested a parole. And so what we need to do is find out exactly what you did, why you're there, and why you're deserving of a parole. Then we're going to get the warden to tell us what kind of fellow you've been, why you've been institutionalized. And then we're going to hear there's no supporters, but we got two folks that are in one or two. I'm not sure if both are going to speak or what in opposition, but we'll hear from them in just a little bit. Then we'll have some questions. Ms. Stapleton will be conducting some questions, then we'll follow up and then we'll vote. It's a real simple process. So right now, Mr. Sherman, tell us why you're there, what you did wrong, what you do if you got out, and why you should get out.
I know I did wrong, there's no doubt about that. I'm a predator instead of being a protector. I didn't protect the girl. And so, I mean, I know I did that. I was definitely wrong. A lot of people have called me a monster, which I agreed with them. Now I definitely am a monster, but I've been doing a lot of soul searching about finding out how to take care of that monster and keep that monster in check, basically. You know, I can't guarantee now, when I get out, first thing I'm gonna do is go find my AANA sponsor and get with him and start going back to my meetings, and then probably go to the parole board, parole office within 24 hours. There's a few things I'm gonna do when I do get out. I'm definitely going to go do a little bit of fishing. I have no intentions on trying to contact the victim or anything like that. I have no ill will towards any of them for anything that happened. I take full responsibility for what I did and know that it should not have been done. And all I can do is just say that I ask that they forgive me, but their healing begins with their forgiveness of me. I'm not asking for them to forgive me and tell me, okay, you can get out. I have a limited amount of time left, but I have no problem with that.
Okay. All right, Warden, can you give us a little insight into his behavior since you've known him?
Yes, sir. He came to DCI in 2016. I will say he hadn't had any write-up, so he stayed out of trouble since he's been incarcerated, and that's all I can speak to, of course, is his incarceration status. He doesn't have a WCLN, so really he kept his head low and stayed out of trouble while he's been here.
All right, thank you for that, sir. And there's nobody speaking in favor, and so let's move on to, let's see. We have two people, Charlotte Sherman and Mia Hill. Who is going to speak? Is it Mia? Mia, is that you?
Yes, I'm Mia Hill. I believe we're both speaking. But yes, I plan on speaking a little bit.
Okay. Will you go ahead and tell us what you think about his parole request?
Yes. So, I feel I spoke pretty much what I wanted to say in my statement. But I just, on top of that, I just feel like anyone with like a sense of mind would not allow him to like get out. Although he can't do anything, I believe, further, but it would just be like a piece of my mind that he stays where he's at so he can just think about like all that he has done. I'm sorry, this is just
That's okay.
yeah.
That's
First
all
time
right.
speaking about this for a while, but yeah, I believe my statement kind of covered a good bit of that would like should have been said. Yeah, but I feel like that kind of covers it.
Okay, thank you. And we do have your statement.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Let me ask you something though. We do have your statement and, you know, it's some things people want to keep confidential just between us
yes, ma'am.
and themselves. And so, because I printed it out, so I have it and everything.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want any part of it read or do you want us just to know about it?
Oh, absolutely. I wish that he could hear every bit of it and more. I actually wanted to ask that if he would be able to hear what I put in that statement. I wish that he hears every bit of that and every piece that I say in that.
Let me see, Mia. Let me ask you if I got yours here right. Does yours start off with, this is very difficult to find yourself? Okay, this is the stepmother. And every parent, I'm trying to see if I've got yours.
Yeah, I did submit mine late. I had like a short notice on it because we had some like contact like problems because I had like changed my phone number and stuff. But my mom Charlotte, she told me that Mr. Wen, the person I submitted it to, told me that if I submitted it by a certain day, it would still be able to go through. So I hope that it did. It was able to.
Well, I'm sure it did. I'll look and see if I see it here. And so this is your mother that's fixing to speak?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And then meanwhile, I'll look and see if I can't find your letter. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Miss Charlotte, would you, Miss Charlotte Sherman, would you tell us what's on your mind and what you feel about
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for allowing us to be here today. I'm here today to oppose for him to get out. I think he is right where he belongs, and he does not deserve to be out. I am so proud of Mia being able to sit here and tell her mind on the things that he has done to her, the horrible things. She has been through so much in her life. She does not deserve, this man does not deserve to be out at all.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Is that, did you get a chance to say everything you wanted to say?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you for appearing, and I'm sorry that you had to.
Thank you so much for allowing me to be here.
Ms. Stapleton, I think it's your turn to.
Okay, a little bit of Mia's letter is he would wake me up and get into bed with us and make us watch porn. And then he would say, remember that this could be us. And she was only between the ages of 4 and 8. And then at one point she was put into foster care. So Mia's life went that kind of direction from everything that happened to her. It takes a lot for a survivor to appear like this to us or to anybody, because it's sad, but you know, it's one of those types of crime that the victim is the one most embarrassed by it. That's why a lot of times it goes unsaid and unnoticed. But anyway, I saw that your crime was originally aggravated incest and it was pled down, correct?
No.
And then you had a whole bunch of other charges with it at the same time. It was pled down to indecent behavior with a juvenile. So on a sex offender registry, how long would you have to register for indecent behavior? Have they told you?
guessing the rest of my life.
I don't know. Because I know there's different tiers. I know aggravated incest. But anyway, so you were picked up and it was possession of marijuana, drug paraphernalia, concealed weapon by a felon, carrying a weapon, and then aggravated incest. All of that was non-processed and you just ended up with the aggravated incest and the rest of it was dropped. Prior to that, you had simple burglary, you had cultivation of marijuana. Let's see what else you had. Did I leave out anything? Did you have some other crimes that I missed? No. So you heard I heard you say to your victims that you consider yourself a monster. But I noticed that when I was looking, unless I missed it, that you haven't taken the sexual assault classes or the victim awareness classes. Now, I might have missed it. Have you had them?
I did 1, 2, and 3.
You did 1, 2, and 3, the sexual assault? Okay. And I know there's 4, but maybe they don't offer them there. And victim awareness. So what have you, you're going to get out in 2029. So 4 years from now. Do you have many victims?
Now?
Do you have many victims?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So you were just saying you were a monster for the one victim, correct?
Correct. Like I said, I should have been a protector and I wasn't. I've become the predator to her instead of the protector.
Hey, so what are you going to do so that this doesn't happen again to another child?
Well, I'm definitely going, when I get out, I'm definitely going to avoid children. And stay away from them and talk about that.
Well, you have opposition, as you can imagine. You have family opposition, complete family opposition. And then you have law enforcement opposition. The sheriff, the AG, and the DA. And do you have anything else you'd like to tell me about what you've accomplished while you're there?
No.
Okay.
Any questions? No questions for me. I think we're ready to vote.
Okay. Today, sir, I deny your request for parole that based upon the heinous nature of your crime, the overwhelming victim opposition, and law enforcement opposition.
The sentence reflected a plea bargain, victim opposition strong, and age and relationship of the victim to the offender.
Okay, and I concur, denied. Your parole request has been denied. The time is 12:29 p.m. That's the end of that. Thank you, sir, Warden, for hosting us at Dixon. I think that we're through there.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a blessed day. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
See the camera on. Okay. Okay.
Okay, my name is Steve Prater, and we're here to conduct a revocation hearing on Mr. John Cofield. And are you Mr. Cofield?
Yes, sir.
And what is your DLC number, Mr. Cofield?
Date of what, sir, you say?
Your DLC number, your
37,
department-
yeah, 337-1603.
Okay, and do you have a waiver form in front of you that shows that you signed?
Yes, sir.
Do you have it in front? I mean,
yeah, I got it. She gave it to me.
okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you signed that and you understood about the attorneys and all of that business and, okay. Ms. Stapleton is going to be handling your case today. We're going to be trying to determine if in fact you're revoked or not. And so, you're at Natchitoches Detention Center, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Is anybody in the room with you that's on the staff?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
All right. Well, you see who we are by our name tags, and we're in Baton Rouge, and the time is 12:38 in the morning. So we'll commence on this revocation hearing. So, Ms. Stapleton, would you go ahead and get started with us?
Yes, sir. Do you have the questionnaire in front of you?
What'd you say, ma'am?
Did they give you a questionnaire in front of you for revocation?
Yes, ma'am. They gave me.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to read your violations. Violations of number 4. On April the 4th, 2025, you were arrested for committing the offense of stalking. On June 11th, you were billed with stalking of a person with a protective order, which is a felony, and had a court date for June 26, 2025 for the arraignment. How do you plead on that? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty, my lawyer did.
Okay. And then you are in arrears of $252. Guilty or
Yes,
not?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you're saying that your lawyer pled not guilty to that,
Yes, sir. I went to court on the 26th.
okay? So what happened that they filed that against
They
you
gave me another court day on August the 7th.
on August the 7th? So it's been continued?
Yes, ma'am.
So based on what I've got right here, anybody else got any questions or anything to say?
No, other than you were charged with, you've been charged with stalking this person before, hadn't you?
No, sir. They had a restraining order thing on me, sir.
Okay, all right. I don't have any questions.
You violated the restraining order, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you violated the restraining order and you're saying you didn't stalk. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am. If they charged me for that, for that last when I went to court the last time, yes, ma'am.
And that one you're guilty of?
I'm pleading not guilty, my lawyer, when I went to court on the 26th.
Okay, well, they found evidence that you were guilty. So as of today, I'm going to revoke you based upon guilty for number 4 and number 10.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ledoux?
My vote is to revoke.
Okay. And my vote also is to revoke. So as of today at 12:40 this afternoon, your parole has been revoked.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thanks.
That'll sign us off from the Committee on Parole, Baton Rouge. The date, where the time is 12:41. Thank you.